Hello guys, my name is Victor and I'm over here to help you with the CCNP Route class. Basically right now we're going to have an overview of the whole different scenarios that you're going to see on the CCNP Route course and the different things that you're going to see. So you better start getting used to it. The second stuff that I want you to mention is that you please don't feel overwhelmed because there's a lot of terms that you haven't seen before. I don't want you to freak out because there are a lot of things that you're not familiar with. But I just want to point them out because we're going to be trying to be attaching and focusing on each one of them. I'm going to have a whole different explanation. We are going to have a lot of time together trying you to understand what they are talking about and doing the laps of each one of the charges. So guys, we're going to be talking about that. I want you to encourage about it. If you know something, you don't love something that you don't know. So I expect that you get familiar with that you know what we're talking about, and eventually you're gonna fall in love with all those terms that are not familiar to you right now. So guys, come with me, enjoy the trip, and enjoy the explanation. Feel free to ask any kind of questions that you will have in the close future. Have an excellent day, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. Bye. Hello, my name is Victor, and I'm over here to help you with the CCNP Route Certification 300-101. So the first question would be, what is the CCNP Route 300-101? CCNP stands for Cisco Certified Network Professional. It's a middle range in the Cisco Pyramid certification. It's very hard to get, and it's one of the highest IT certification that you can get on the IT world. First, you need to get a CCNENT, Cisco CCNA, and then you're gonna have CCNP. Then it comes in three different flavors. Or, saying another way, you need to pass the CCNP route, the CCNP switch, and the CCNP troubleshooting certification. The ones that you see really soon to get the complete CCNP. So this is what it looks like: CCNP route, CCNP switch, and CCNP troubleshooting. The CCNP route running a switch it comes with the number 300-101, the route 1. The CCNP switch 300-115 is the one that we're going to be using for switching. And CCNP T-shot that needs 300-135 that it's gonna be kind of a mix of routers and switches, and it's gonna be the last one that you need to take when you go through all the routing process. So remember, route, you can take route or switch first, either one of them, but make sure that troubleshooting is gonna be the last one that you are gonna get. This course is provided at American Network Institute. And guys, let me introduce you to a very handsome guy. That's me. And I'm gonna be your instructor. So let's talk a little bit about my background. I have Content Certification A+, I have Network Plus, I have Security Plus, I have Microsoft NCSA, NCITP, SharePoint, SQL, ASP.NET, Office 365, Network Infrastructure, you name it. And I have Cisco CCNA, the one that you previously saw, Cisco CCNP. I'm graduating from Information Technology from Fast Track College in South Florida and Application Architect program in the Academy of South Florida, and I make other studies as well. I have a couple certifications, and I think that I am capable to give you some advice about networking in the IT field. So yes, I think that I am prepared. So guys, let's check it out the different section of this course. First of all, I'm going to name them initially, and after that we're going to talk about them a little bit. So I'm going to make a small description of what they are. the different CCNP route that we're gonna have. The first one that we're gonna see is the introduction for CCNP. That's basically the main introduction to everything that we saw over there. Fundamentals of routing, we're gonna talk about that a little bit later. IP routing protocols. We're gonna be checking the number 4 is gonna be redistribution. Let's check it out. There you go. You see over there. Number 5, internet connection. Number 6, routing security. Number 7, exam preparation. Now, let's start talking about a description of each section. The first one was the introduction and the introduction to CCNP route. So it was basically the main introduction that you saw over there when I was explaining myself how everything was coming, what I was expecting of those classes, what we were going to see, the different kind of protocols, the different things that we were going to use in IPv4 and IPv6. Then we're gonna do an overview of the course, the one that we are doing that right now. The third thing that we're gonna see is the description of the routing protocols. When we are talking about the different routing protocols that we have, we're talking about the OSPF, the AEGRP, the RIPNG, RIPv2 version 2, NG stands for new generation, the BGP protocols, the different, we're going to be talking about the different routing protocols categories. This stuff stand for distant vector, link state, path vector, and when are we going to use each one of them. We're going to be talking about the type of network. We're going to be talking about IPv4 and IPv6. And we're going to be talking about a lot of very interesting stuff, like description of the routing protocols, the network type, and how to use each one of them. Besides that, we're going to be talking about remote site connection. In remote site connection, we got the grid tunnel, configuration and verification, layer 2 and layer 3 MPLS, the IPsec to secure VPN connection, something that is very important, guys. MPLSA, VPN, the DMVPN to dynamically get connection between hub and spoke. In VPN technology, do you remember about hub and spoke in our topology? The NHPR that stands for next hub and is for the IP address in network using IP totally, very important as well. And then etc. 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 So guys, there's a lot of things that we're gonna see, but I don't want to be stuck in that kind of stuff. So we're gonna be checking as well. Let me talk about number 3, section number 3. We're gonna be talking about IGP routing protocols. We're gonna be talking about the IPv6, the IPv6 and RIPNG, new generation as I mentioned. We're going to be talking about EIGRP, the EIGRP fundamentals, the advanced EIGRP, that's going to be a little bit more complicated, and how do they work, and EIGRP for IPv6. So everything is getting juicier. We're going to be talking as well about the OSPF, how the OSPF works, the OSPF fundamentals, how OSPF database work, and we got over here, for example, the band OSPF. As you can see over there at the right, there's gonna be all the different diagrams of how the different areas that they are working in the OSPF. So we're gonna be talking about redistribution as well, the basic redistribution between protocols, and we're going to be talking the route selection process and how we're going to do that. Section 4, redistribution. We're going to be talking about basic redistribution and route selection process when we are talking about redistribution. Basic redistribution between protocols. Why would you use redistribution between protocols and how to do that? Redistribution in EIGRP, redistribution in OSPF, the redistribution list, and multiple redistribution points. We're going to be talking about route selection process. When we are talking about route selection process, we are talking about Cisco Express forwarding, how a router performs a packet switching, policy-based routing, PBR, that allows a packet to make a packet forward decisions, IPsec level agreement, IPSLA, how to influence when a router using a static route, and a VRF Lite. That is a basic configuration that allows a virtual router to run multiple virtual instances. First of all, don't get very confused with all these details because I know that for some of you it sounds like a bit complicated, but we are going to get deeper into each one of them and you're going to comprehend what they are talking about. 5. Internet connection. Over here, we're going to talk about internet connectivity, BGP foundation, advanced BGP, IPv6 connection. The first one is going to be internet connection. Over here, we're going to talk about ISP, the internet service provider providing IPv4 address to customer. And we're going to be talking about NAT, network address installation, to have a private IPv4 translating into public routable IPv4 address. We are going to be talking about BGP foundation. BGP stands for Border Gateway Protocol. Not using in many internet networks, to be very honest, but it's good that you know that. We're going to talk about ASN, autonomous system number. We're going to talk about path attributes. We're going to be talking about internal and external BGP, configuration of the internal BGP, configuration of the external BGP, how eBGP works, verifying the BGP table, and learning the BGP connection, and injecting routes into BGP connection. We are talking about advanced BGP, using iBGP, router filtering, clearing BGP peers, BGP path attributes, and BGP path algorithm, and how to influence enterprise outbound routes. IPv6 connection, how to configure to use ISP using IPv6 on your IPv6 router, and multi-protocols BGP, and how to support both IPv4 and IPv6 networks. Section 6, security of routers. Over here, we're going to be talking about routing security and protocol authentication. Routing security is basically a time-based ACL, that is access control list, and the concept of infrastructure ACL features available for Cisco iOS routers to secure a router from an attack. And we are going to be talking about the protocol authentication. That is basically authentication methods, password authentication, and hashing authentication used to prevent malicious users to do neighboring between his routers and production router, AEGRP authentication, OSPF authentication, and BGP authentication. We are going to be talking about the preparation for the CCNP route exam. Exam preparation. And we're going to be talking about two topics. The first one is how to prepare for the exam. When we're talking about how to prepare for the exam, we're talking basically all the tools that you're going to need, how to do that, what are the topics that you're going to be focused, a million labs that we're going to be doing over and over, something that till it sinks on your mind. So you're going to start dreaming, eating, sleeping, everything's going to be CCNP route. So by the time that you are going to have that time, you're going to feel comfortable because you have been reviewed all the concepts that are going to be over there over and over, and you don't have a lot of issues. Remember, this is a very, very hard exam, probably the hardest that you have ever taken so far. We're going to show you how to get organized for the exam. I want to explain you how to make a structure, and how to make a prediction of how the exam is coming. So you're gonna get mentally, we are gonna start doing a couple diagrams of the areas that you think that you are not very strong at. So by the time that you get over there, by the time you're gonna be feel very comfortable about it. Okay, now we are gonna be talking about the format of the CCNP route exam. Let's check that out. Multiple choice. As you know, multiple choice is basically a selection between different choices, and that is the most regular stuff that you're gonna see over there in almost the most of the times nowadays. Routers of I forgot, I don't know where that came from, but as you know, these routers over here, these are different model of routers, and we are gonna be teaching how to use them. We real besides DNS Street, we real life routers, and I want you to see how we have real equipment, how we do real procedures with real routers. So you're gonna get familiar, and why not to get attached to routers that to virtual machines all the time. But that's another topic. Teslas, what is that? Guys, it's basically a configuration, a similar configuration how everything is coming in a environment, in a in a text that looks like a real life environment. Drag and drop, guys. What is drag and drop? Well, basically we are choosing one of the options of the left, and we're gonna put it on the option on the right. By the way, those are questions that come from the real life exam. By the way, that you're gonna see in CCNP Route. So you're gonna get familiar. You're gonna see a tons of them in the close future. Simulated labs. These guys, well, even though that is not very clear, we are gonna be using. Let me see. If you see my mouse right now, the information from some of the writers over here, the information that you're gonna have on the on on the right over here, and the information that you're gonna be typing to get that information that you see on the diagram. So you're gonna be using all the three of them over here to get the proper answer. This is a new stuff that you don't see that you haven't probably seen a couple of exams, and the information, for example, the IP address or personal information of the routers and names and stuff like that is gonna be different from one to another. So if somebody tell you that you're gonna see that you are gonna memorize all the answers for the CCNP router exam is gonna be one exactly like the other, that is not well. That is not real life. Sims. We are over here doing some simulations, and we are gonna see, for example, in area 123 0 1 2 3 and different colors because they have different areas. Basically it's a simulation of real life how we are going to structure the areas where we have our routers. So guys, this is very important, and I want you to memorize and feel comfortable doing this kind of stuff. And you're gonna see that on the exam, and you're gonna, after you do a couple of troubleshooting, you're gonna post the information about each question of each one of the routers. Exam organization. How your CCNP route exam is coming. As you can see, everything's coming network principles, 10%, layer 2 technology, 10%, layer 3 technology, 40%, VPN technology, 10%, infrastructure security, 10%, and infrastructure service. As you can see over there, layer 3 technologies, that is basically the AERP, OSPF, VP, is going to be the ones that you're going to spend the most of the time. So 40% of the time is coming from that area. So do you know what do you need to know? All this information, all the humongous information that you're going to be studying? Don't you? To be strong for the CCNP route exam. Guys, I hope that this information have been informative for you, and hopefully I'm gonna see you in the next video. Talk to you later and have an excellent day. Hello guys, my name is Victor and I'm here to help you. As I mentioned before, I hope that you like the presentation that I just made for you. Basically, there's a lot of things that I know that will freak you out because you don't understand. Please relax. It's just an explanation. We are going to get deeper into a lot of different technologies and a lot of different things that you saw in that presentation. So, guys, practice makes perfection. You're gonna get perfect as soon as when we jump in those waters, and you're gonna feel relaxed. I'm gonna explain how everything works. I don't want you to feel comfortable with doing that kind of stuff as well. So you don't love what you don't know, but eventually you know everything and you're gonna love it as well. I think that in the IT world, CCNP Route is one of the most interesting stuff. It's like a game because you have a lot of puzzles. As you know how to play the game, you know how to handle yourself, and you know a lot of stuff that is gonna be very interesting for you. But be careful; it's not a walk in the clouds. You need to walk the walk. You need to do a lot of stuff. You need to learn. You need to do a lot of different stuff. I feel comfortable doing the different stuff that we're gonna be explaining you how to do that. So guys, this was just an overview, and I want you to feel comfortable with what you saw. We're gonna get deeper, and you're gonna get prepared for the CCNP route exam. And that's gonna be our main goal, and you're gonna achieve it because I trust you, and I trust that you eventually you're gonna give me your best, so you're gonna get that certification down. So we have a long journey. I encourage you to start studying and check all the material and do that over and over again. And guys, you're gonna love it. Believe me, you will. Guys, have an excellent day, and we're gonna be talking about that a little bit later. Bye.